Who's ready to have a look at my colony of meat ants? Definitely time for an upgrade. This nest is swarming with workers. The outworld is totally full. They definitely need a new outworld and they need a new nest. Look at them. They're actually keeping their brood in the outworld. This has to change. So let's have a look at this video and see what I do. Well, if you've been following the channel, you would have noticed that I had this aquarium that I was looking at using, a reptile enclosure actually. Or this particular one here, this old tub that I was going to recycle and use again as another outworld. These were the two choices that I had before me, but I wasn't really happy with either. So I wasn't quite sure what to do. This one just did not seem secure enough. So I decided to get another one. So I'm using this other fish tank. Now again, the fish tank is going to have to be secure and it's going to take a little bit of work, but I think I can do it. So how am I going to go about it? Well, first of all, when you do something like this, you're going to need to drill a hole. And here we go. I have drilled a hole right through the glass in this fish tank. Now when you're drilling holes, definitely make sure you're very careful and you take your time. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses and gloves and go very slowly on the drill. What I've done to start with again is I've poured a nice layer of plaster just in the base, and then I'm going to use this reptile sand. This is the red dirt because by popular vote, everybody wanted to have a bit of a desert themed outworld, and I'm going to do my best. So here we go. This is what I've come up with. A couple of nice rocks sitting in there. I've got a succulent you can see there, and what I've done is I've inset a rock into the sand there at the entrance so they can't undermine or dig up the entrance into their nest. And I've got a bit of a desert flower stick there as well that I thought I'd put in. Now obviously it's quite wet now. It's going to need to dry out because it's had the moisture from that plaster being soaked up through the sand, and once it's all dry I think it's going to look quite nice. Now next, after making the outworld, I need to allow it that time to dry and then I can add a few more things to it. But I need to get the nest, and this is the new nest that I've decided. So this is a Whitong, it's an Oz Ants, and what I've done is I've connected it up with the tubing here so it goes nicely through and into the outworld. Now this should be quite a decent sized nest for them, give them plenty of room to grow. What do you think of the setup? Let me know down in the comments below so far. But stay tuned because the transfer of this colony over was pretty exciting. Yeah, let's just say we encountered each other. So here it is. I've let it dry out a fair bit and I've added some sand, some extra sand over it to make it look nice. And I think it's coming together quite well. It definitely does look like a desert environment, very arid, and I love that big main center piece of rock that I've used there. I think it's very nice feature to have there. A little bit of green from the succulent which you might get in the desert, a few little pebbles and rocks and things like that as well. So it's definitely a big improvement on size over what they used to have, isn't it? Now what I'm looking at here is this top that I have to put on. Now this is the lid to try and keep them from escaping. I've just glued on a couple of wooden pieces there so I can pull the lid off nice and easily, but as you can see it's a bit of a makeshift one. But now it's time for the transfer. I have to get Opal and her scavenger gems, named by my Patreons, and I have to get them into this nest, this new outworld. It's going to be fun. How am I going to go about this? Well, what I need to do is first of all position the new colony into their new setup, their new shelf. Look at that, beautiful. A couple of different shades of light there, which is really nice to see and what it's going to look like. I'm pretty happy with it. So what I've done is I've disconnected the acrylic nest and I've plugged it up with some cotton wool, and I've used the gate on the acrylic nest that you can see here, and that's basically to keep all of them secure inside there. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this acrylic nest and I'm just going to drop it in the Outworld like so with the Outworld, give them a little bit of a rock so they can get out and over and see how they go, see how quick they do transfer over and how quick will they get inside this nest and have a look. What I have is still the Ants Canada nest still to transfer, but here you can see them pouring out of the nest, going berserk. They definitely have been disturbed and they've got a new environment to look at, and look at them teeming everywhere. Yeah. Now I have put a fluon barrier around the top to keep them in order, and I've got that lid on there, but they've already got over the fluon barrier, and I thought they would. Now here we are, the acrylic nest is emptied. They're all out of that one, which is fantastic. And I've put in the Ants Canada nest now to empty out. And that one had a lot of the brood in it. A lot of the brood, and the queen was in there as well. So hopefully they're transferring over. Now this video I've taken place over a couple of hours for the transfer. I didn't want to record it all. And look at them, already in the back. They're already digging. They can't help themselves. Instinct. They just want to keep digging. They're looking somewhere safe to put all of their brood. And here's the nest. Let's have a look and see what's happening. Are they moving in? Ah, beautiful. Look at that. Excellent. So all the brood is being transferred over. Still no queen though. Where is the queen? She must still be inside that colony. Now as I was transferring them over and getting them out of these nests, I got bitten lots. Many times I got bitten, and they always go for the really soft part of the hand as well. Not very nice, but hey, I guess I disturbed their nest and really upset them. But they're going to enjoy their new home, so it's for their own benefit. And it was a lot of fun transferring them over like this. But continue to watch and we'll see how things pan out. So one thing I noticed was when I got the nest completely empty, there were a few brood in the Outworld. They hadn't put them inside the nest yet. So I just have to keep an eye on that, and hopefully they will transfer them over to the security of the new nest. Okay, so here they are all set up inside the new Outworld and the new nest. So I've got some liquid feeders in there. I did have to do a little bit of tipping out of the Outworld just to get them in there so they weren't being overly stressed. That's why we've got a bit of a pile of rubbish in the middle. And as you can see, they've already started to dig a little bit in the Outworld and move things around. Unfortunately, they've got all that mess in the middle, but I'll clean that one up. A few little messes to the sides as well. Very clean, aren't they, ants? They don't like the mess, and they're ordering the place around already, getting it ready for them. Fascinating. Okay, well let's have a look inside the nest now. Now that they're fully moved in, there's no more brood in the Outworld, and wow, we can see them all here. Here's Queen Opal, secure inside the nest, and boy is there a lot of brood. Even now when I've got it inside this nest and I'm looking at the room available, there's not a lot left already. Oh boy, is it only going to be a matter of weeks before I need to do another upgrade on this nest? This colony is doing amazing. I think it's really nice to be able to see a colony in a nest like this as well. These Oz Ants Waitong nests are so well made and they look really beautiful. The contrast here is really nice to be able to view the colony and view the species really well, and give them a bit of variety, and you've got those different hydration or moisture areas throughout the nest as well, which is a really nice feature. Well, one of my videos wouldn't be proper if it didn't have some macro footage. So here we are looking inside, up nice and close at this colony, and it's just beautiful to be able to view them and be able to see inside the nest like this. See the inner workings of a colony of meat ants, and it's getting bigger and bigger. A closer look at Queen Opal now. She's looking very healthy, which is great as she goes exploring her new space. Beautiful, beautiful queen. Well, let me know what you think of this upgrade to the meat ant colony, their nest and the Outworld. I really appreciate some feedback on this, and thank you so much for watching right to the end. And a huge thank you to my wonderful Patreons. Thank you Medical Carcass 9, Hugh Janus, Gordon C, and Ant Nation, and the other Patreons that I have. I really appreciate the support. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel and you'll get early access to videos, behind the scenes information, and plenty of other perks on different levels as well. So I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. There's a video there recommended for you by YouTube, and one that I've picked that I think you might really enjoy. Thanks for watching the video, and always remember, happy ant keeping.